welcome back to the channel. Today we are celebrating Crafty Meraki's 4 years with their new release. I am using the Crafty Confetti hot foil plate which I have foiled here on a piece of pattern paper, and the new Succulents die. Absolutely adorable and great size for clusters. So I have picked out two dies, but later in the video you will see that I ended up also using the bigger succulent cluster. And I have colored cardstock, so pink and a lilac, a baby pink and a lilac. And I am going to die cut these elements from these two cardstock pieces. So that would give me a nice base ready to add a little more color to bring about depth and dimension to these succulents. So I am using my Altenew inks and I'm leaving the base layer as is and beginning with mauve, which is a lighter dusky pink, and blending that over on the second layer, and then going in with the Berrylicious on the third layer. So that just brings in the variation in the layers of the pink. And then I have swamp green and oak green here, oak moss, sorry, that I'm adding to the innermost layers, bringing in that green of the succulents to my pink succulent basically. So with the triangle system of assembly and just referencing the layering guide, it is very easy to put together these layers, and I like to just adhere them by applying glue right at the center, not all around, because I feel like that brings in depth and dimension with the petals raised on the sides. So assembling that, I have completed this first succulent. Now for the second layer, I am using the purple, so I bring in hydrangea and I add that ink color on the second layer, leaving the base layer as is again and just blending that nicely. For the third layer, I am using ultraviolet and creating that bluish purple reddish tone there. And again for the innermost layers, I am bringing in the green, the swamp green and the oak moss to add a touch of green to this. In the same way as before, I will assemble these, but I'm also bringing in the smaller bud. I don't know what they're called of the succulents, maybe bud. I have just added ink from what's left over on my blending tool and just nicely blended them. By the way, these blending tools are from Altenew as well. They are called the mini blending brushes, and I oftentimes use these for all my ink blending projects. So just putting the layers together in the same way as we did before. And for the bud, we just have two layers, so it's very easy to put that together and create this beautiful dimension. I am using liquid glue again and just assembling that. And this is where I show you. So I die cut the bigger floral cluster and the layering guide is right inside the package, so I can reference that and put that together. But before that, I want to add in color. So repeating the same process, going in with mauve and Berrylicious on the second and third layer. This time I just brought in another lighter tone of the green, matcha green, for the innermost layers to create a little variation in the three layers that I wanted to ink blend green. This is a larger succulent, so it creates a bigger, fuller succulent, and I quite like that variation that we have in this set with all the elements that it provides for. So just referencing again the guide and following that triangle system of putting everything together, I have completed layering this cluster. Now for my sentiment, I have chosen glitter cardstock from Altenew, and I picked the dies from the birthday Slim Star, from the birthday Slim Star mini Slimline die set, which is birthday wishes, and I have just die cut those two words from two colors of the glitter cardstock, tying in with the pink that I already have on my succulents. I have added a layer of white die cut word right behind, creating a little shadow so that they stand up when I place them on my card. So I have my card base already ready. I begin by adhering birthday wishes at the top of the card. That gives me a nice placement for the sentiment, and then I work around building the layer and adhering the clusters. I'm doing this the other way around in this card simply because my sentiment is big as well, and I wanted to make sure that I have a good placement for that amongst all of these bigger succulents. I am using foam tape, and just for the bigger one I add double layer of the foam tape for it to have more depth and dimension and to create distinguishing layers between all these succulents. So once I have foam tape down in place, I am just dry fitting and playing around and seeing what sort of a composition would work for this. And once I have that down in place, then it's easy. Layer by layer, I just peel off the backing from the foam tape and adhere all of these elements down onto my card base. I am very happy with the way this looks. The cluster looks really beautiful, especially against that purple confetti plus the pattern of the pattern paper. I think this makes for a really great celebration card. I'm completing it off with some white acrylic ink splatters, but just over the succulents, not the entire card. And with that done, this card is complete. Do check out the ongoing hops that Crafty Meraki has on all their social media platforms. And I hope this inspires you. Until the next time, take care and bye bye.